Welcome to the full-time position VATAS training. Today we'll cover the employee role for all full-time positions. As you can see on your screen, this is what the VATAS site will look like once you get access. On the Sunday of the pay period that your station goes live, you will receive an email. In that email, it will contain your user ID with instructions to click on Forgot Password. Your user ID is the first letter of your first name, the first 5 letters of your last name, and the last 4 of your social security number. That email will ask you to click on Forgot Password, and here you will enter that user ID and click Submit. So we'll go ahead and hit Cancel. Once you submit that, within at least maybe 2 minutes or so, you should receive another email in your VA Outlook account. That will contain a link that will ask you to go in and reset your password. So how long does your password need to be? Your password must be 12 characters. It should contain 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase, 1 number, and 1 special character. So we're going to go ahead and get logged in, and we're in the training database, so we're not going to have to follow those rules and regulations. So we're going to put in full-time PHY for physician, the station that we're assigned to, and then we'll put in our password. And again, we're in the training database, so our password is only 6 letters long. So we're going to go and get logged in. When you get logged in, you're on the Employee menu. The Employee menu contains lots of information. And as you can see, across the top, we have an inbox on the right-hand side. So we're going to go ahead and click on that inbox. And any emails that are generated by VATAS on your behalf will be sent to that inbox. And as you can see, we have 2 about our timesheet. And it says that the timesheet for the full-time position was rejected. And if you look at the message, it was rejected because the supervisor said in lieu of holiday earned on 2/15. And then it was ready for certification, which means that your timekeeper has validated it. Any emails that are sent to your VATAS inbox will also go to your VA Outlook account. So just keep in mind you'll get to see them in your Outlook account, and you don't always have to address them in the VATAS account. Besides the inbox is the Settings tab, so let's click on Settings. The Settings tab, you're able to reset your password if you don't like it. Your password will expire every 90 days, and you will be required to change it every 90 days. If it's getting close and you want to go ahead and be proactive, by all means, go in here and type in a password and retype it in. They must match, and click Save. So now we're going to go back to the Employee main menu. The first thing as an employee that we're going to look at is our schedule, because we want to make sure that our schedule is correct. So as you can see, it defaults to pay period 4, which is the current pay period that we're in. And below that, it shows week 1 and week 2, and it shows which days you have off and which days you're scheduled to come to work. If the day tour is not on the correct day that you are scheduled to come to work, please work with your timekeeper to get this updated. Across the top on the right-hand side is the TL unit. And VATAS is programmed to hold all 350,000 plus employees in one database, so we had to make the TL unit longer in order to group people by station. So the first 3 digits of the TL unit is the station number. The second 2 is the duty location that that employee is assigned to, and then the last 3 is the same 3-digit code that you had in ETA. So we're done talking about the schedule, so we'll go back to the Employee main menu, and notice we have a Cancel button. When we hit Cancel, it takes us back 1 screen. Now we're going to talk about the timesheet. When you click on the timesheet, notice again that it defaults to the current pay period, which happens to be pay period 4. We're currently on February 24th, and we're going to have the first 3 days of the pay period have already been posted by our timekeeper, and that is signified by the ones underneath the 21st, the 22nd, and 23rd. So let's go ahead and click on the 23rd, and when you click on the 23rd, you can see that the timesheet entries below have been filled in, and it says RG Regular DT Day Tour. For that 1 day is fully posted. If you need to, you can click on each individual today to see what's been posted. But we're a full-time position, so we're either going to take leave or we're going to be working. So let's click on the Totals tab beside the Schedule button towards the bottom. When you click on that, notice that in week 1, there's 3 days posted, and in week 2, there are no days posted. And then out besides that, the hour codes are totaled individually. We have 2 day tour codes and 1 day off code. If we had annual leave on there, it would show up as annual leave. If it were sick leave, it would say sick leave. So whatever type of leave you have, it will be broken down so you'll know how many days of leave you're charged just by clicking on the totals. Then besides the totals tab is the remarks tab. If your timekeeper had entered any remarks in either on a day, it would show up under the daily remarks, and if it was for the entire pay period, it would show under the pay period remarks. So far, our timekeeper hasn't had to put any remarks in, so we have none showing. So let's look at the leave balance tab. The leave balance tab is a snapshot of the leave balances that you have available for you to use. And we'll discuss more of that when we go over the leave balances from the employee main menu. So let's go ahead and cancel here. And now we're going to review the timesheet summary. As an employee, it's easier to review your timesheet by looking at the timesheet summary, because it gives you all the information in one snapshot, and it gives you more information than what's showing on the timesheet. And as you can see, we have some validation messages. Please don't be alarmed with those validation messages. Those will be cleared up by your timekeeper when they get your timesheet fully posted by the end of the pay period. So if we scroll down a little bit to look at our timesheet entries, again, those same 3 days are posted and we can see it and we can review it. Below that is our schedule. Below that, again, is the breakdown of the total hours, and it breaks it down by day tour and day off. Below that is the remarks. Then we have leave requests, premium pay requests, and leave data. We scroll down just a hair, we can see our timesheet profile. The timesheet profile gives you all the information concerning you for this particular pay period. Please review it and make sure that it's accurate, especially your Aux Series title assignment, right there where it's being highlighted. And then below that is some of the entitlements that you're entitled to, such as annual leave, authorized absence, and AWOL. On the right-hand side of our timesheet profile, you can see an accession date, and notice that this one says June 2nd, 2013. The accession date in VATAS, even in the live site when you get logged in, will be the date that your data was pulled from ETA and placed into VATAS. Please don't be alarmed if it's not your true accession date that you were normally used to seeing in ETA. Below that a couple is the service computation date. That's the date for your leave accruals. As a full-time position, we earn 26 days per year. So our leave category no longer says leave group 4, it says day leave, full-time, Title 38, 26 days per year. Below that, the last 3 rows in that column is the station, the duty station, and again the TL unit, which we discussed when we were looking at our schedule. Below the timesheet profile is the activity log. This shows you who did what and when on your timesheet. So as you can see, our timekeeper made adjustments to our timesheets today. So let's go ahead and cancel. Well, we're not going to cancel here. Scroll back up to the top because I want to show you some other stuff as a full-time position that you're entitled to. Let's drop this down. The pay period, if you want to look at older pay periods, let's drop down to pay period 3 of 2016. And to actually see it, you need to select Go. So we're going to hit Go. And when we do that, it changes to pay period 3. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because in ETA, if you worked the holiday, it was just marked that you worked. And if you wanted to use that day in the future, which you have 90 days to use it, you really couldn't see it. And as an employee, you would put in authorized absence. In VATAS, we've taken care of that for you. Notice that February the 15th happened to be the holiday, and our timekeeper marked in our day tour code in lieu of holiday earned. So when we want to go and use this holiday in the future, again, we have 90 days to use it. We just need to communicate with our supervisor and our timekeeper to let them know that yes, on such and such date, we're going to do that in lieu of holiday used. So let's drop this down to pay period 1, because I want to show you what it looks like when you go to use it. Okay, I didn't use it there, so let's go to pay period 2 maybe, hopefully. If not, it'll be okay. Yes, notice that in pay period 2 on February the 5th, we marked in lieu of holiday used, and that was from the holiday that occurred on January the 18th. VATAS keeps track of the 90 days. It will not allow you to use it past those 90 days, so please be aware of when you've earned it and make sure that you use it in time. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to our employee main menu, and now we're going to talk about leave balances, because we need to make sure we have leave balances before we put in leave request. As you can see, annual leave, we have 32. For a full-time position, that 32 is in days, not hours. And don't be alarmed right now at the end of your balance and the use or lose. It will be modified to be 86 days, and you won't have any use or lose that you have to use up before the end of the leave year. So we have annual leave and sick leave, and if you scroll down a little bit, we also have military leave. And if you scroll down even further, you notice that there's frozen leave. The positions that have frozen leave are aware why the frozen leave is there. For the rest of you, if you do not have it, it's because you were not employed when that frozen leave was restored, and you will never have frozen leave. I just want to point out that it's there for those that actually have it. Below that, we have tracking leave balances. Anytime you use leave without pay, it will now be tracked. As a full-time position, when you hit 14 days of leave without pay used, you will lose your accrual for that pay period. So just keep track of the leave without pay that you use. Below that, notice that we have other leave. Other leave, and we currently have 2 forwarded. And what that is if we go ahead and click on it, we have 2 days used on the 23rd, which is pay period 1. We had some administrative leave put in for that pay period, and that's what it's for. And we'll show you that when we go to do a leave request. So anytime you have a leave balance that you want to look at, if you click on it, it'll give you more details. So let's go ahead and go back to the employee main menu. And now we'll focus on leave request. So as a full-time position, notice that we already have some leave out there. And notice that it shows hours, and it shows 8, 16, and 80. Yes, it does show hours here. Please do not be alarmed. It will really deduct it from you for the day, not in hours. So it's not 8 days, but it's 8 hours. And I'm going to explain it as we go in to put it in. So now we're going to go ahead and add a leave request. And the first one that we're going to use annual leave. So we're going to take our leave type and drop it down to annual leave. And notice that it shows that we have 33 days. So we're going to put in a leave request for today, which happens to be the 24th. So we're going to choose today, the 24th. And when you tab 2 times, the end date duplicates the start date. As a full-time position, you just click on the all-day button. When you do that, notice that you can't click on anything else. You can't enter a start time, a stop time, or the total hours. When we scroll down to the bottom and hit submit, those hours, those start and stop time get entered, so does the total hours. Please don't be concerned that it says 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We had to generate hours for the leave request. Those are the hours that the programmers came up with. It's okay if those are not your hours. Notice it still says 8 hours. That's okay. because now you can see that your annual leave balance went from 33 days down to 32. So it's in fact only taking 1 day from you. So how do we put in a day. So let's go ahead and go back to leave request up at the top. And now we're going to put in a week's worth of leave. So put add leave request. And we are going to make it February the 29th. Annual leave again, sorry. Annual leave. February the 29th. And we're going to tab. And we're going to make it all the way through March 4th. So we're going to have to change months and put March 4th. Okay? We still need to choose our leave type, so we're going to make it annual leave. And we're going to scroll down. Oh no, we got to click the all day button because we're going to take leave for the whole week. And we're going to scroll down and hit submit. And notice that it says for 40 hours, but our leave balance went down from 32 to 27, which is 5 days, which is correct. So that's how you do a week of leave. So let's go back. And how do you do 2 weeks of leave? Go back up to the top. We're going to do leave request. Click back on leave request. And we're going to add leave. And this time, it's going to be March 7th through March 18th. But we're going to do it that way just so you can see how not to do it. March 7th, sorry. March 7th. And we're doing 2 full weeks. So we're going to go to March 18th. If we click the all day button here, we're expecting it to be 80 hours. Because it's 2 full weeks. Because we don't get charged leave on the weekends. So let's click the all day button, scroll down, and hit submit. Alright, and we have 27 days. Notice that now it's for 96 hours. Why does it say 96 hours when it should only really be 80? It's because VATAS does not look at your schedule when submitting leave requests. To correct this, we need to change the end date on the first line, and we need to make it end on March 11th. March 11th. March 11th. And we can scroll down and hit submit. And now it's for 40. And then we can add a row for March 14th. Hit tab. And now drop the calendar down. And when you do that, it brings you into the current month from the start date. And we're going to make it through March 18th. And again, we're going to click the all day button. And now we're going to scroll down and hit submit. So I showed you how to put in a leave request for 1 day, for 1 week, and how to do it for 2 weeks. Just keep in mind that you need to look at your schedule to make sure that you're not requesting leave on your days off. So notice that we have this cute little schedule button right here. If you can't remember which days off you have, you can always click on your schedule assignments, scroll to the second one, and it'll show you which days off. So you want to avoid Sunday and Saturday for week 1 and Sunday and Saturday for week 2 to prevent yourself from being overcharged that leave. So let's cancel here. It brings us back to that. Let's go back to our leave request form. And we can see that it is for 80 hours total, and it's pending, waiting for our supervisor to do something. So scroll back up. Let's click back on the leave request button. And notice that we have a view calendar button here. As an employee, I encourage you to always look at the view calendar button. Because number 1, It will show you when you're taking leave on the weekends and when you're not. And let's go ahead and change the month to March of 16. And when you do that, notice that Saturday and Sunday doesn't have anything on it. When you take your mouse and you hover over any of those, it'll show you what it's for. And notice that this one says leave request annual leave, and it's pending. Up here, across the top, on the right-hand side, A equals approved, D equals denied, and P equals pending. So this concludes the VATAS portion of our training. So we're going to go ahead and log out here. And I'm going to drop down into my favorites, and I'm going to take you to a SharePoint site. Let's drop down to VATAS portal. And as an employee, to view this video, you probably came here to see our video. But I want to point out some other stuff. Notice that we have user-specific roles. So if we hover over the user roles, it breaks it down, and we can click on the Employee tab. When we do that, it brings us to the employee training videos that we have available for all employees. And when you scroll it down a little bit after it loads, and you can see everything for this particular role. And all of these little videos here that you can see are less than 5 minutes, and you can look at each one to see what you want to do. This video is about an hour long, and it takes you through everything that we just discussed, and it will show you how to do things as an employee. Be aware that this particular video is for full-time employees who take leave in hours, not days, like you do. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.